You're tuned to Nobidade TV, a Cape Verdean production.
Our last poet coming to grace the stage is somebody very special to me. If you need your car fixed, call her. If you want to slash your ex's tires, call her. If you want to listen to a podcast of someone with a great talking voice, let's convince her.
Where's she at?
Let's make some noise for this amazing poet, Alexandria!
Alright, I'm gonna start with some old things, and then for Sadie specifically, I wrote one new thing so she could have her fun. This first one is actually one that I read here for the first time in this building on this stage at TDN. So fun. I want to start by saying also though that men ain't shit, so truly. So, the poem about this man is no longer relevant.
No.
But he made for some good work. So we'll give him that. 1. The first time he looked in my direction and saw me, the entire planet stood still. Okay, well not actually. But suddenly it was all in slow motion. Like I fundamentally understood what it meant to be breathing. Like wind in the air, air in my lungs, and lungs that have never been touched by a Marlboro Red. 2. The first time he told me that he couldn't text me because he was gonna be with her, and yes, he did look me in the eye and say that I should have been done with it. By it, I mean us, but by us, I don't really know what I mean because there is no us. We have never been a unit of measure, but two individual people. 3. I am not now, nor have I ever been a stupid person. I have never made myself into anyone's sometimes, downtime, half-time, or part-time person because you see, I am a full-time job. 40 hours a week plus overtime, quarterly bonuses, an upward mobility rate unmatched, and for the right candidate, compensation well over minimum wage. What I mean is that I admire a strong work ethic, yet with him, I just wanted any of his time. 4. There is an ache that lives so deep in my bones I cannot get rid of it. The only thing left I can think to do is to remove each of my ribs individually, scrape them clean with dentistry instruments, wring what's left of the salt water from them until they recoil, and stick them back in my chest like Jenga pieces. I'd use what's left of the WD-40 in my trunk to stop the creaking every time I take a breath inward. I would airbrush them with a craft store glue to ensure that they hold in shape whatever it takes, so long as the urge to check in on him is gone. 5. Not once in my life have I ever been called naive. I do not fit that character mold. But when a friend of mine highlighted the very real and very plausible possibility that to me, I was just a thing for him, something to have, something to take, something to do, I cried. I then Googled the synonyms. Sincere, confiding, credulous, all of which I was when I stood in close enough contact to him to touch, never registering that this is the kind of cautionary tale that people warn you about. 6. For the next 3 months after it is over, I will call myself an art project. It is the only way to make sense of the disassembly and reassembly of everything about myself I have ever known to be true. Everything that with him I put into a cardboard box and dropped off on the side of the road somewhere between here and the moon. And I've done the math, what the internet is calling girl math. Our houses are 8.5 miles apart. 12 of you take the highway, no more than a 21-minute drive, but the distance between us has always been that of here and the moon. 7. Rain is my favorite weather. And I don't mean light sprinkle, I am talking downpour, monsoon, flood warning, thunderstorm, safer to stay inside weather. Every man who has ever loved me remembers that. The rain and I are parallels. We are seemingly untouchable once we are gone. The first time he told me that he thinks about me every rainy day that he sees since we met, it was already over. But he looked so proud of himself when he said it to me, like somehow he had just changed my life, that I opted to not spoil it for him. He is not the one, he is the million. And so I laugh. And the universe says that I paid my dues to this man, so it rains for the next 8 days, and I hope that that he didn't sleep one night. 8. The last time I see him in person, I tell him about the letter, how I set it on fire, how it was the last of us that I had to hold on to, how everything is so much lighter without him. He spouts some nonsense at me about what I deserve and how it's better than him, and I do not argue. I know he is saying it for himself much more than he is saying it for me, and I let him. When he has said what I believe to be the last of his piece, I get in my car, I do not linger, and I leave. I do not cry, I do not listen to sad music or make space for him in the front seat of my car, but when I do get home, I call my sister. For quite possibly the first time ever, that bitch answers the phone the first time, and if anyone has an older sister, you know that they don't answer the phone the first time after 10 p.m. We talk for 45 minutes about nothing, and I do not tell her about him. She would have far too many questions about who he is that I don't have answers for, and at the end of the call, she asks me, "Alan, are you okay?" She has no conceivable way of knowing the weight of what she is asking, but she knows to ask anyway because I think all older sisters just know. I am silent for only a minute,